the honorable judges, and everyone who is watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let's praise to our God Allah, the most merciful, the gracious, and the sustainer of the universe. Secondly, peace be upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has guided human life from the destruction into the right way of Islam. And last but not least, I will never forget to thank the judges who has given me this very special opportunity to deliver my speech. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself first. My name is Marsya Junika Aurelia from SMA 3 Azhar, Bandar, Lampung. And standing in front of this camera, I would like to present my speech under the title, The Effect of Online Learning on Students' Literacy in the Era of Pandemic. Online learning, the method that we've been using for almost 2 years, will definitely give either positive or negative impacts on the students. But what about the students' literacy? Will this method give a good impact, or will it be the opposite? I will discuss it here in my speech. But before I begin my speech, there's a question that comes up to mind, which is, what made people have to leave this pandemic era? Yes, coronavirus. Corona, or as people may identify with COVID-19, is a virus that causes respiratory illness with symptoms also, such as cough, fever, and in more severe cases, difficulty in breathing. Now we all know that this virus is extremely dangerous for our body. It can be seen by the amount of data of people who has passed away because of this virus. But this virus has spread all over the world, including our beloved country, Indonesia. So, we all have to limit physical contact with other people to reduce the spread of COVID-19. And that is the reason why schools in Indonesia, which applies face-to-face learning, has changed their method into online learning, which usually performed through Zoom or Google meetings. There are some students who don't like this method for some reasons, such as internet issues, device issues, or feel that it's way more difficult to understand the school lessons. However, some students do prefer online learning so that they won't have to study for their assignments and or exams. And this is our main topic of students' literacy, which we'll be looking into it a little bit more later on. Students can search questions on the internet and get answers that can be directly copied and pasted without having the likeness to read and understand the lessons. It makes the task don't increase students' knowledge because the literacy isn't carried out here. This opportunity makes them not have the motivation to read because they may think that it's unimportant. And this behavior just proves that online learning is no better than offline learning. However, there are more points coming out later in my speech as to why online learning has negative effects more than the positive effects to students' literacy throughout this academic year. We tend to feel a little inactive due to the lack of readings we do during online school learnings. The learning method used by the teachers to give lessons and explain materials is dominantly monotonous. For example, the materials given by the teacher does not contain any pictures or other things that may attract students' attention to read and understand the lessons. It makes the student feel unmotivated to study. The technique used by the teacher in teaching and explaining are also super tedious. Explaining the learning materials should be various in different techniques and methods, such as giving fun as related educational videos that are still connected to the school lessons. Teachers also tend to only give PowerPoints and Google meetings for students to use as a method of learning at home, which make the student find it difficult to understand rather than getting an explanation straight from the teacher during offline learning. And due to the online learning, students become more easily distracted from the studies that they are supposed to do. Either it's a family distraction or some other things. And due to the online learnings also, students have the freedom to learn while watching movies, playing games, and other more distractions that may move their focus into the stuff that they are doing, but not to the learning subjects. COVID-19 pandemic era has limited the sources of motivations that pushes the students to grow the likeness of reading. And reading activities are usually done just for assignments or parents' instructions. So, as a student, we must start realizing ourselves to keep learning and reading to increase the literacy of students in these times of pandemic. And that realization is important for our future. And I think that's enough for my speech. It's been an honor to be among such accomplished individuals to present my speech to you all. And I hope this speech is useful for those who are listening. And last but not least, I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.